Max Verstappen aims Kimi Raikkonen dig with Charles Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel prediction: Verstappen is gearing up for what's said to be another enthralling F1 season that he will be hoping ends in title success. The Ferrari duo of Leclerc and Vettel, though, will have something to say as they seek to end the Prancing Horses trophy drought. Ferrari have not secured silverware since Raikkonen and Felipe Massa combined in 2008 to snare the World Constructors' Championship. And there are high hopes some inter-team competition will help get the best from four-time title winner. Has now claimed Leclerc has the ability to contend with Ferrari teammate Vettel from the off this season. And in the process of doing so he's aimed at Raikkonen, who will be driving with Alfa Romeo in 2019. "I think so, because he is very fast and intelligent," Verstappen said, when asked if Leclerc will challenge Vettel straight away. "Yes, he lacks some experience to Vettel, maybe over the race distance. But he will be faster than Kimi Raikkonen anyway." Verstappen has faced suggestions he will have to be more measured on the track if he's to win a title. However, team principal Christian Horner says Red Bull cannot afford to limit the 21-year-old's ruthlessness. "I think it was good practice for him to see what happens on the other side of the fence," Horner said, referring to Verstappen's recent 2-day penalty for pushing Esteban Ocon in the Interlagos paddock. Verstappen's determined approach distinguishes him and makes him the exciting driver he is. "If you talked him out of that, he would not be Max Verstappen anymore. He would not make for the same headlines and create the same interest anymore. He just wants to drive as hard as possible on each lap. He is not a big fan of tests, he would much rather race." Verstappen, Leclerc, Vettel and Raikkonen will get the 2019 F1 campaign underway with next month's Australian Grand Prix. Next news: Max Verstappen, Helmut Marko reveals 2 reasons Red Bull are now faster than Mercedes. That is the verdict of Red Bull chief Helmut Marko, who says his team are now quicker than reigning champions Mercedes. Has been hard at work at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona this week, taking part in pre-season testing. And, alongside new teammate Pierre Gasly, the Dutchman has managed to turn heads while driving the newly unveiled RB15. Ferrari are just ahead of Red Bull as it stands, with Mercedes so far failing to replicate the pace which has delivered 5 title doubles on the bounce. Marko has now identified the 2 reasons Verstappen and Gasly are thriving: design work and the new engines supplied by Honda. Nevertheless, you already notice a big power boost, Marko told, after discussing the conservative program Red Bull have utilized this week. "At the moment we're number 2 behind Ferrari, who look very good. Maybe 2 or 3 tenths. But we are faster than Mercedes, and that's not just because of our good car, but also because of the engine." Marko's comments came after he had already waxed lyrical about how Honda have shown since replacing previous suppliers Renault. "Honda has already done a great job," Marko said. "Everything they have told us has happened. Everything is going as planned. We've had 0 engine problems so far." Marko added, "Honda has incredible resources. We see that both in the factory in England and here on the track. It's unbelievable how many parts Honda alone will take with it for a test. Red Bull will be desperate for their impressive testing sessions to translate into a positive start to the season." They will get another opportunity to hammer out any kinks in the RB15 at the Circuit de Catalunya next week. Verstappen and Gasly will take to the track together as teammates for the first time at next month's Next news, F1 news. Sebastian Vettel makes 2 admissions about new Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc. Vettel will be looking to bounce back this season, having seen his battle with Lewis Hamilton end prematurely in 2018. And Ferrari have piled on the pressure by recruiting the promising Leclerc to partner the 4-time champion. Leclerc has been tipped to pose a bigger threat to Vettel's supremacy at Ferrari than veteran Kimi Raikkonen managed to. Has now admitted Leclerc has the potential to scupper his hopes of winning a 5th driver's title. Of course, Vettel said, when asked if Leclerc will be a contender for the World Drivers' Championship in 2019. He got the seat for a reason. I've got to take him very seriously. You always have a close rivalry with your teammate. But priority number 1 is trying to bring the team forward. Obviously I've been around a lot longer compared to him, different things here he will have on his plate in the beginning. But he's a nice kid. In a positive way, leave him alone, let him do his job. I'm certain he will be quick enough and put me under pressure, so we'll see how it goes. Vettel and Raikkonen got on well during their years together with no on-track rivalry to impact their relationship. Vettel, though, has admitted he does not know what the dynamic will be like between himself and Leclerc. I don't know him as a teammate yet, so. Everyone is different, Vettel added. I'm taking it quite straightforward. I'm not the one starting any problems. I don't expect Charles to start any problems. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's very exciting for him, to be in a position to drive the car of his dreams. I can understand that. Even though I've been around longer, I still feel the same. Vettel and Leclerc are currently testing Ferrari's new SF90 car at Barcelona's Circuit de Catalunya. They will race together as Ferrari teammates for the first time at the Australian Grand Prix on March 17. Meanwhile, Vettel came home the 4th quickest of the 13 drivers to take to the Circuit de Catalunya track on Wednesday. The 4-time F1 champion was plus 0.646s slower than pace setter Daniil Kvyat, who is now with Red Bull's junior team, Toro Rosso. Kvyat was joined in the top 3 drivers of the day by Vettel's former teammate Raikkonen and Renault's Daniel Ricciardo. Williams' new boy George Russell was slowest in Spain, a sizable plus 7.921s off the pace Kvyat managed to set. Next news, Red Bull news. Daniel Ricciardo doesn't want to hear. Aussie F1 ace Daniel Ricciardo may have his head held high after finishing strong with Renault on day 4 of pre-season testing, but nobody can deny this tidbit from his former boss would have stung. Likely wanting to put all thoughts of Red Bull out of his mind ahead of a huge 2019 season, the newly appointed Renault superstar had to deal with his old team tearing it up on the track in Barcelona this week. A new partnership with engine supplier Honda sees the Austrian-based team turn a new leaf going into the new season after a horror run of technical issues ruined Ricciardo's back end of 2018. A solid start from Max Verstappen, who hailed the new engine's reliability after completing 237 laps over the course week, all but squashed the team's worries about changing manufacturers. Motorsport advisor Helmut Marko revealed the energy drink team had never gone into a season on such a high note, insisting they had entered a new period ahead of lights out in Melbourne next month. So far, if I talk about Red Bull and Toro Rosso, we had a very good time, Marko told Sky Sports. I would say we never had such good preparation for the season. It's a new period. We don't look back. We look forward, he said. It's a very good relationship. The concern was of course reliability, and so far that's not a problem at all. It's a new culture as well. but it fits well with our people. For Ricciardo, who retired from a whopping 8 races last year before pulling the pin on Red Bull, the news of his old car being fitted with a reliable and perhaps speedier engine must be hard to swallow. Even still, Marco believes the Italians are still the quickest of the year so far, with the Scuderia fighting tooth and nail to recover from a late season slip in 2018. What I saw yesterday on the circuit, Ferrari for sure at the moment is the fastest car. Behind that it's Red Bull and Mercedes. Let's see what can do until Melbourne, he said. But we are quite optimistic that this year we can win races from our own strength, and not only if others have trouble or special circuits like Monte Carlo or Singapore. Ricciardo is still feeling out the cabin of his new home inside Renault's car, but is confident he can shake things up atop the pecking order despite driving for a team which has struggled in recent years. I'm feeling more and more comfortable each time I step into the car, Ricciardo said on Renault's Twitter page. We didn't put in as many laps as we planned, but that's testing, and we were caught up with some smaller issues which meant we were stuck inside the garage. The timing looks good on paper, but it is impossible to be sure of the respective plans to put our lap times in perspective. Toro Rosso's tyre rookie Alexander Albon was second fastest, having led the lunchtime timesheets with a lap of 1:17.637, while champions Mercedes unlocked a little more pace and went faster than Ferrari. The relative pace of the two front-running teams from 2018 remained unclear, with Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas suggesting the Italians were a step ahead, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc accused the champions of sandbagging. British-born Albon, one of 3 F2 graduates making their F1 race debuts when the season starts with the Australian GP in Melbourne on March 17, completed a whopping 136 laps on top of 132 on Tuesday. Britain's 5-times world champion Lewis Hamilton was 5th, just behind Bottas, who set his best lap on the softest and fastest tyres, but did his stint in the colder morning temperatures. Ferrari's Leclerc was 6th on harder tyres than any of those above him. Alfa Romeo's Italian Antonio Giovinazzi did the most laps of all on Thursday, 154, but also twice brought out the red flags, while British rookie George Russell managed the fewest, 17, in the Williams. Poland's Robert Kubica was also on track for Williams, who only started testing on Wednesday afternoon, and did 48 laps. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.